Sanjaya said, "Thus have I heard the conversation of the two great souls, Krishna and Arjuna. And so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end." Purport. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Dhritarashtra inquired from his secretary Sanjaya, what happened on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? The entire study was related to the heart of Sanjay by the grace of his spiritual master, Vyasa. He thus explained the theme of the battlefield. The conversation was so wonderful because such an important conversation between two great souls had never taken before and would not take place again. It was wonderful because the Supreme Personality of Godhead was speaking about himself and his energies to the living entity, Arjuna, a great devotee of the Lord. If we follow in the footsteps of Arjuna to understand Krishna, then our life will be happy and successful. Sanjay realized this, and as he began to understand it, he related the conversation to Dhritarashtra. Now it is concluded that wherever there is Krishna and Arjuna, there is victory. Text 75. Vyasa prasadak shrutavam etadam guhyam aham param yogam yogeshwarat Krishna sakshat katayatam suyam. By the mercy of Vyasa, I have heard those most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna. Vyasa was a spiritual master of Sanjay. And Sanjay admits that it was by Vyasa's mercy that he could understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This means that one has to understand Krishna not directly, but through the medium of the spiritual master. The spiritual master is the transparent medium, although it is true that the experience is still direct. This is the mystery of the disciplic succession. When the spiritual master is bona fide, then one can hear Bhagavad Gita directly as Arjuna heard it. There are many mystics and yogis all over the world, but Krishna is the master of all the yoga systems. Krishna's instruction is explicitly stated in the Bhagavad Gita. surrender unto Krishna. One who does so is the topmost yogi. This is confirmed in the last verse of the 6th chapter. Yoginam api sarvesham Narada is a direct disciple of Krishna and the spiritual master of Vyasa. Therefore, Vyasa is as bona fide as Arjuna because he comes in the disciplic succession. And Sanjay is a direct disciple of Vyasa. Therefore, by the grace of Vyasa, Sanjay's senses were purified and he could see and hear Krishna directly. One who directly hears Krishna can understand this confidential knowledge. If one does not come to the disciplic succession, he cannot hear Krishna. Therefore, his knowledge is always imperfect, at least as far as understanding Bhagavad Gita is concerned. In Bhagavad Gita, all the yoga systems, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga are explained. Krishna is the master of all such mysticism. It is to be understood, however, that as Arjuna was fortunate enough to understand Krishna directly, so by the grace of Vyasa, Sanjay was also able to hear Krishna directly. Actually, there is no difference between hearing directly from Krishna and hearing directly from Krishna via a bona fide spiritual master like Vyasa. The spiritual master is a representative of Vyasadeva also. Therefore, according to the Vedic system, on the birthday of the spiritual master, the disciples conduct this ceremony called Vyasa Puja. Sanjay is thrilled and mesmerized by this great legendary divine conversation between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Srila Prabhupada explains the rarity of this conversation. That's why Srila Prabhupada is saying that how this conversation is so wonderful. So wonderful. Never before it has occurred. Never again it will take place as well. Well, Lord Krishna is directly speaking to Arjuna. And Sanjay was fortunate enough to hear directly. So there are no limits to the ecstasy of Sanjay at this time. Transcendental subject matters are in itself very enlivening and awakening. Rather, transcendental subject matters are like a fresh and first monsoon rain, which fills the entire ambience with freshness, with cooling sensation, and absolves the heat and the weariness of the modern civilization or the materialistic civilization, more aptly to say, the materialistic civilization. The heat and the weariness of the materialistic civilization. So transcendental subject matters are amazing. Therefore, they are also compared to as Amrit. And therefore, they are also compared to as Sanjeevani. That which is life-giving. Materialistic consciousness is death. Spiritual consciousness is life. When we are in a materialistic consciousness, it's death. How it is death? Because we have no freedom. We become like a machine. We are forced by lust, greed, anger to act on degraded, embarrassing, dark trajectories. That's all, is it not? That's all. That is material life. Whereas spiritual consciousness is life. Because when we come to spiritual consciousness, we can exhibit, one can experience, practice, and exhibit the various transcendental variegatedness of service to Krishna in love. So it's quite panoramic. Whereas materialistic consciousness is quite ghastly. So if this is so, then why is this conversation called to be rare, such a rare phenomena? Because the nature of devotees is that they're always talking about Krishna. Satam prasangat, mama virya samvido, bhavanti hritkarna rasayana katha. The Joshana, the devotees are always drinking that energetic juice of Krishna Katha and becoming enthusiastic. That's what the devotees are always doing. So how is it so rare? And then added to that, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that hearing from the Lord and hearing from a bona fide devotee in the parampara is not different. In both cases, you are hearing directly from Krishna. Prabhupada explains that. So now this raises the question that so how then it is so rare? How then it is so rare? That's an interesting point. So the interesting point is that see, transcendental subject matters are in themselves so amazing and enlightening. But transcendental subject matters exhibited and emanated on the grounds of full exhibition of mercy and compassion towards the fallen conditioned souls, towards a materialistic civilization. That is rare. That is rare. So Krishna Katha as such is the way of reciprocating with Krishna. How do we reciprocate with Krishna? How do we serve Krishna? We are raw candidates. We are not much trained. We have not undergone training in the spiritual world. We don't really know what it means to serve Krishna. And sometimes to know itself is very complex. So therefore we just glorify Krishna, Shravanam and Kirtanam. That becomes a beautiful service to Krishna. Just like when Lord Prishnigarbha appeared in front of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, that illiterate little boy, he became dumbfounded. He didn't know what to do. He was just drinking the form of the Lord. He didn't know anything else, what else he is supposed to do. So he was just beholding the form of the Lord. He was drinking the form of the Lord. That's what he was doing. With big eyes. And he didn't know anything else what to do. He didn't know, he was illiterate. He was not very learned. So at this stage, the Lord helped him. Is it not? At this stage, the Lord helped him. Therefore, the Lord blessed him with his Kangsha. And with the touch of the Kangsha of the Supreme Lord, Divya Gyan Hide Prakashita. That transcendental knowledge became dawn in the heart of Dhruva Maharaj. The other heart of Dhruva Maharaj became a glacier of the transcendental nectarine waters of the glories of the Lord. So he became the Gangotri. His heart became like Gangotri. And the transcendental nectarine glorification of the Lord started coming. So the way to reciprocate with Krishna was through Krishna Katha, is it not? In that way, he was serving, offering obeisances, offering himself to the Supreme Lord by glorifying the Lord, is it not? That's the point. Amasho Dhruva Maharaj and Shantras Dasiras. But actually, even the Vrajavasis exhibit this principle. Their personal service to Krishna physical personal service to Krishna is not all the time. It's allotted. They have a fixed lot, is it not? One particular pastime. Some pastimes are arranged for the gopas. Some pastimes are arranged for the gopis. Some pastimes the elderly gopis take over. Some pastimes are with the cows and the calves. Some pastimes are with their animals in various vanas. Of Vrindavan. That's the point. So what do they do at other times when their allotted service is not there? Definitely they'll prepare for the service. But actually what is there to prepare for service in the spiritual world? Spiritual world is Chintamani. You desire and it comes. If you desire to offer 1008 items to Krishna, in 1 second it will be ready. Is it not? That's spiritual world. So then what is there to prepare? So they prepare their consciousness. Is it not? So what do they do at other times? They glorify Krishna. You know? Satam prasangat, mama virya samvit. What do they do at other times? They glorify Krishna. Is it not? When Krishna goes for Gocharan Leela, all the gopis, elderly gopis and the younger gopis are glorifying Krishna's pastimes. They make poems and songs out of Krishna's pastimes. You know? That's what they do. And the next day, they release the next songs, the next set of songs, next set of. What an amazing life, what an amazing absorption. So the point is Krishna Katha in general, so around any devotee, we can find Krishna Katha. And that Krishna Katha is a way of connecting and reciprocating with the Supreme Lord. So that's the point. But now Krishna Katha, which is exuded for the, so that means in general, the devotees and the Lord are busy with each other, just like, a true, romantic couple fallen in love with each other, eternally they are, absorbed in each other. They don't need anybody else, like that. Similarly, the devotees and the Lord are eternally absorbed, tasting the transcendental nectar of loving glories of the Lord. And in that is embedded the service to the Lord. It is sometimes that the devotees turn their face towards the fallen, materialistic, degraded living entities and they say, okay, let's help them out. That mission becomes a rare mission. And there the transcendental knowledge which is exuded is quite rare, quite important, quite relatable to us. That's the understanding, is it not? So that's why Bhagavad Gita is rare. Krishna came to deliver by the means of arranging the war. Both the parties had arranged for a massive setting to degrade, is it not? That's what both parties had arranged, to hellish conditions of life. Krishna became personally present to liberate them, even the demons. The demons also got liberation in the battle of Kurukshetra. So out of great compassion, Krishna is giving that knowledge to the first Acharya reinstated in the Parampara back again, or after the break, Arjuna. At the same time, the Lord is giving that transcendental knowledge to liberate and reclaim the living entities who are lost in the, who are about to be lost in the battlefield. And therefore Bhagavad Gita is very rare. And now we can understand, just like Bhagavad Gita is very rare, Srimad Bhagavatam is very rare. Is it not? How is Srimad Bhagavatam very rare? Srimad Bhagavatam is very rare because Srimad Bhagavatam is very rare because Bhagavatam was also spoken for the welfare of humanity. The sages of Naimisharanya had come. The sages of Naimisharanya had come for 1000 year sacrifice so that the society can benefit non-stop. But the only thing what they were achieving was that their bodies were getting black from the soot of the ash of the yajna. That's all what they were getting. And therefore, when the events arranged in such a way that Sutta Goswami agreed to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam, that was a turning phase for them. And therefore their burning questions were, what is the duty of a dying man? The Krishnas disappeared, how will the humanity be saved? You see Bhagavatam's questions for the series. What are various pastimes of Krishna, incarnations of Krishna? The 6 questions they ask. So if you see they're setting their hearts, their attitudes were all directed towards the welfare of humanity. And therefore they were asking such important questions. That is the point. So that means when there is ecstasy of reciprocation with the Lord, at the same time there is compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. That is something which makes it very, very precious and unique. This is what is happening in Bhagavad Gita, is it not? Very interesting. And therefore, Sanjay is ecstatic. His ecstasy is not knowing any limits. Rather, Sanjay, he just wants to get lost forever, never to come out. From this absorption. He wants to replay it again and again and hear it and relive it again and again. That's the state of Sanjay. Another beautiful aspect which we can understand and relate with here is that, you see, the point is that great Acharyas and the Lord have very deep feelings of love for the fallen conditioned souls. Very deep feelings of love. And therefore, because the loving feelings are so intense and deep, whenever a trigger comes in that direction, the revelations are not just addressing that one question. The revelations will give everything. Because whatever is inside comes out. Is it not? That's the point. The Krishna's heart is so much filled up with love for the living entities. Therefore, when there is this opportunity or there is this trigger, everything will come out. That's the point. Is it not amazing? It is not. Uh, so Krishna's whole heart is coming out, is it not? Arjuna just asked, what should I do? Is it not? Krishna would have said, just fight. Is it not? It's a simple question, one line answer could have been enough. And Arjuna would have just fought because Krishna is saying so. Is it not? And thus the battle of Kurukshetra would have ended. But the moment Krishna is triggered, Krishna is exuding out his heart and love for all the living entities. That's why in Bhagavad Gita there is so much variegatedness of topics. Everything comes out. Similarly, we will see the sages at Naimisharani are asking 6 questions. One chapter is enough to answer that. Whole Bhagavatam came out, is it not? Why? Because the Acharya's hearts are so much filled up with love for Krishna and therefore so much filled up with love for all the living entities. So whenever there is a trigger, what comes out is something really amazing. And that's what Sanjay is relishing. Now, Srila Prabhupada explains that you cannot understand Krishna or hear from Krishna directly. You can only hear Krishna directly through the medium of the spiritual master. And then Prabhupada goes on to explain that the bona fide spiritual master is a transparent via medium. And therefore, hearing from him and hearing from Krishna are not different from each other. It is not different from each other. So Krishna consciousness is a process of relishing. Just like you see a rich man's son, what he's supposed to do? He's just supposed to take, he's just supposed to take probably $50,000 from his father. Is it not? And then just go out to a nice scenic place, go to a resort, have a nice gala time. Is it not? Eat the finest of the cuisines and come back. Is it not? Spiritual consciousness is not much different from this. So the point is that, the spiritual consciousness is actually not much different from this. Because the point is that what is a devotee supposed to do? See, actually Krishna consciousness is a picnic. Why? Because people go out to the forest for adventure trips. People go out to the mountains for adventure trips. That's what they do. It's a picnic for them. There is a campfire. There is no surety where you will get your food from. There is no surety where is gas from. Arranging everything is a joy like that. How does a devotee celebrate his picnic? He celebrates his picnic by being an instrument in the preaching mission of the Acharyas. For a devotee, traversing the whole world will be as simple or as much as going from here to the main building of IIT. That's where is a picnic for a devotee. To actually traverse trajectories where sinful activities have brimmed up beyond thresholds, like that, and bring out the glories of the Lord. The campfire of Krishna Katha. Is it not? That's a picnic. Like that. And where is the feast? Where is the feast? For a devotee, there is so much feast which is available. How? Each and every great soul is a beautiful delicacy cuisine. Mean not to disrespect, but their association is like tasting a beautiful cuisine, is it not? So partaking. So we have so much opportunity to partake so many flavors of transcendental tastes by the divine association of so many great souls. Okay, very few come to us, but we can go to anyone, is it not? Right? The world is not a big place. We can go to anyone that way. So the point is that, there is this full opportunity, and that's why Prabhupada was saying that, what are you doing? Nonsense. Like a pauper, you are begging for alms from MNC companies. Give me some daily bread. Give me some food. And the MNC company says 14 hours of work. Then I will give you daily bread. And I like that. Yeah. Then also they don't give actually, like that. So that is like begging slavery, is it not? And why that miserable life? We are the last son of a millionaire father, is it not? Let's just have picnic. Is it not? Let's just have picnic. Prabhupada's disciples understood this, and for many of them didn't waste their time, like that. We should also understand this, and not waste our lives, waste our times. Is it not? So you see, Sanjay is able to appreciate and understand this. Therefore, Sanjay is ecstatic. He's just tasting, like that. This is Krishna consciousness, a divine picnic. Just taste the various wonderful, delicious cuisines of the beautiful association which is available for us, and go for a picnic adventure, is it not? Go for a picnic adventure, is it not? Now our new adventure is going to the northeast, and then soon Boston, like that, but before that, Khadika and Jhargram, uh, so so that's the point.